This is a pod. A pod about dogs. Healthy dogs. It's the Healthy Dog Pod.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Dog Pod Zoom edition. We have Amelia from Hooper Ruff joining us. Hey Amelia.
Hi, nice to see you. Nice to meet you both. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Sorry that it can't be in person in the studio, but soon hopefully.
Yes, well, I think we've been pretty healthy, pretty good, well behaved, social distancing and all that.
Being good, responsible humans.
Yes.
Definitely that.
We'd love to know more about Hooper Ruff, what it is you do, how you got involved in it, and what's special about your product, because it is pretty bloody good.
Thank you very much. That is quite an intro. So I got into it because of a number of reasons. It's a huge niche market, dog wash. It's very unregulated, and basically dog products in general are growing, and they've grown a lot over the last few years, so much so that the big four banks are on it. A lot of small niche businesses are seeing, like myself, are seeing gaps in the market where they can really come in and give pet owners like yourselves a product that fits so many benefits for your lifestyle and your dog's lifestyle. So that's basically what Hooper Ruff is. It was originally, this is embarrassing to admit.
No.
Tell.
Okay, I'm going to share. It was actually originally going to be a business like all the other businesses where I just import stuff from China and sell it to Australians. So dog leashes and collars and jackets and cute little accessories. And I thought, oh my God, I can't wait. This is like my dream. This is what I want to do. And then I realized it was just I was no different to anyone else, and that Hooper Ruff was just going to get completely lost in a saturated market. So before I even pressed go, I noticed that Big W did it, Kmart did it. Road came out with stuff, and I was just like, this is the stupidest thing. If I do this, I'm going to be setting myself up for failure. So I sat back and I did a bit more research, and I was like, oh my God, skin care, pet care, dog cosmetics, if you like, it's completely unregulated. And, there's these absolute cowboy companies out there, which are big names, right? Like we all use them and trust them. And they're probably not that great, or they're not really they could be better, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And so they just don't really fit in with our lifestyles, but they've always been there and they haven't had to change or adapt. So we just keep using them. And a lot of the packaging is like from the 90s, like nothing's really changed. So I've sort of come in and I'm like, brand spanking new, clean, modern packaging. Everything on the back actually makes sense, and you can actually understand what it's saying. And then we actually list all our ingredients as well.
Which you're not required to do, are you?
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't have to actually do that. And this scares the pants off me. You actually don't have to say certain things in a dog formula if it hits below a certain percentage. There's a bit of a loophole. Yeah, there's a bit of a loophole. And like, if you really go through and like look into some of this stuff, you don't have to really say a lot of things that you would in human products.
How is that okay? I don't understand. What is everything, like dog food, dog cosmetics, like it's so unregulated. It's crazy.
Yeah. And how is it even allowed to be that when you spend so much on your dog and it is literally part of your home, like it's part of your family? And yet dog food, it's not just dog wash, which is what I'm into. It's other products as well. It is also dog food. And even like you know, what would be regulated for babies, because essentially a dog is a bit like a baby. Like you know, you don't want to give them
It's a
something
family member.
poking hazard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So there's lots of toys that are still quite unregulated as well. So it's just blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty bloody scary industry. Even, you know, even on our level, there is no legal requirement that we have to be qualified to do our job.
You could be a dog trainer right now, Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, I make dog wash and I'm a dog trainer.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could
no.
exactly do that.
People fucking do that. That's what gets me. It's like people go from being a dog trainer to all of a sudden a nutrition expert. I'm like, what? How?
But
Like,
that's the thing, they can. That's why it's so scary. But how do we get this regulated? That's the thing.
Yeah. That's a really big question. I mean, I think people like ourselves that go and do training, and if you don't have training, either you go and do a course or you teach yourself, or you actually lean on industry experts. So for me, I have a chemist. I'm dealing with a manufacturer at the moment. I lean a lot on vets for ideas and support, and I actually lean a lot on my customers for what they also want or what they want to see change and develop.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
how old is Hooper Ruff now?
Oh, it's very young. It's a puppy. So where I've been open since December 2019, and then the idea for Hooper Ruff was born in 2018. And so there was that pivot transition, and then obviously a lot of time went into development, getting it off the ground, talking to experts, and understanding understanding how I wanted to get into the market really, and at what level. And basically my products mimic the Australian cosmetic industry for humans. Meaning what I mean by that is that the standard is the same for a human as what you would expect for a dog, because when you're buying for your dog, you just expect it to be there anyway, right? Like, you don't think it's an unregulated industry. So
And yeah, no, that's great. And so I'd love to know a little bit more about you know, what it is your product, you know, what were the certain things that you maybe left out or put into your products, and what products have you actually got out there?
Okay, so at the moment I've got quite a large range of dog washes, and each of them have essential oils that are specifically formulated for each bottle to have additional benefits, not just, you know, a clean wash and my dog smells nice, but, you know, like a calming effect, or something to make them have anti-flea and anti-itch qualities, or something for older dogs that's a bit more soothing, which is like in a peppermint wash, because peppermint's quite good for aches and pains and joints and arthritis. So I'm a little bit lost. Sorry, what were we talking about? I got too excited and just started talking about just the wash. Oh yes, so the rest of the product range. So
I love it. Passion. I love it.
Oh, I can do this. I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles on the wash. So the wash itself, the liquid soap, it has a huge range, and then the soap bars are also quite popular as well. They're all very good on. All the washes are for a gentle wash, so nothing is harsh, because you don't really want to be ripping out a lot of your dog's essential oils, because they're actually going to stink quicker, and you're also going to, it's like washing our hair, you know, like there's just some brands that we don't use because we know it strips our hair. So same for my products as well, you know, it's a gentle wash, it's doing what it needs to do. And also the soaps are quite mild. So if you have a dog with a skin condition, you know, soaps are a beautiful way to go. If you want to give them quite a gentle wash, but also with a scent or an essential oil encompassed in them. So I've got they're the main things that I'm doing. And then I also have treats as well that I have been making, and they've been doing really, really well. So we have like a little mini bark box, and they're just little treats that you can give your dog, especially during wash time, to sort of reward that behavior. I'm sure you both have a lot to say on this because bath time can be quite painful.
Yeah, well, that's it. We really do want to, it's one of those things that we impose on our dogs, that they wash themselves more than they would naturally. And so anything like that, we really do we try and make sure that people make that a positive experience for the dog, not just grin and bear it. And either, we have some clients that literally can't wash their dogs. They can't get a hold of them, or even if they say the word bath time, the dog just pisses off to the other end of the house and hides. And sometimes, and this is something we see, is actually when clients have maybe used too much force, and the dog actually just shuts down and just stands there. And of course, it's really convenient for the client, because it's really easy to wash a dog that is shut down. And unfortunately, that dog, it's all right. Sometimes that dog gets actually told that it's being a good boy. Like, it's not trying to be good. He's shitting himself. So if you see your dog like physically really bloody traumatized in the shower, he's not trying to please you. He's shitting himself. It's just really convenient for you. So yeah, like things like that, where you bring treats in and make it a positive experience. If you can tie the two together, that's great, because anything to make bath time a good time for the dog is going to be a good thing.
I found that the treats also, they work quite well alongside it, and we put things like parsley in there, so it's quite good for cleaning teeth as well. So it's not just like a sort of a bribery. It does have a double function, which is really along the lines of the products I'm making, that everything has added benefits and features. One of the things I'm really keen on is actually cutting down bath time. So what you're describing with dogs, struggling, and a lot of them do, like it's very rare that you get one that's just like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah. It's true though, isn't it? There's not many dogs that literally just love a bath. Like, those the ones that would chase the hose, that's different, because they're trying to get it in their mouth. They don't actually want a bath. Like the ones that, I don't know many that genuinely love bath time. But then I suppose not many people call me when it's going well. So it's got a negative bias.
It's just one of those things that, like, if you can have something that's a good bribery but also a bit healthy for them, but it's also cleaning their teeth or looking after their gums and their mouth as well, it's an added bonus. So that's the sort of vibe that I'm sort of going for with a lot of the products. I have a few in development at the moment, purely based on people just constantly asking for them. So there's an anti-pee spray. I also have an anti odor spray, so de-stink, we're calling it. And I also and a calming spray as well, something to put in the bed just to make them go night-night a little bit easier, or to just calm down a bit when you're training them as well.
That's it. I think as well, going back to your dog wash, it's probably something that is undervalued in dog owners. So many dogs out there have got a bad skin condition, allergies and things like that. And, we get a lot of education on, feed them the right stuff, and that's get better. But that can definitely be helped by, what can be used topically as well to get the skin right. So yeah, big product.
Massively. I mean, the skin is the biggest organ on a dog, and it actually takes up quite a bit of their body space. So you're looking at about anything from 18 to 24% in around there. So when you're looking at those percentages, it's something that you really need to be taking seriously. Obviously, we know that things like food are really important for a coat and skincare, and also with what we both do, so mental health as well. So you can actually see a dog's coat change depending on how it's feeling, its emotional state. But also what you're putting on it, because don't forget, whatever you're putting on the skin, it absorbs. Whatever you put on their coat, it's going to absorb into their skin. So it's like us moisturizing our face or our body. You've got to be so careful, because it is a huge contributor, and it's just something we're not paying enough attention to at the moment. Yeah,
no, it's a really good point. Like we've had vets on the podcast before talking about that relationship between the gut, skin, and the brain. And it does take management of all three. You know, your skin is a really obvious communicator of how the body feels.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, if you see your dog itch and scratch, you know, you see it straight away. And if you find a rash, you know, you're onto it straight away. It is such a big indicator on how your dog's feeling or something isn't right. And it's something that you should really take care of. And it will also bring down vet bills. This is what absolutely surprises me, that washing your dog, say with our products or anyone else's, you're looking about $3.50, about $4.50 a wash. That is nothing compared to what you know, a groomer would cost or a professional service. And you know exactly what's going into your product because you're the one buying it. You know, it really comes down to your choice, and how much you research and how much you're going to care about what you're going to apply to your dog. And it's changing the customer mentality as well, that you're buying almost like for yourself. You're seeing the dog not as just as a dog, but part of the family, and you're concerned and reading what's going on their skin, and you're turning the back of the bottle over. So I think it's a big education piece.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think as people get aware of this sort of thing, and you know, I'm a real big believer in, if we look after our dog's health, then it benefits the client, because you know, if the dog feels comfortable in itself, behavior issues go down. If the dog is healthier, vet bills go down. So help the dog help you. Like, if you neglect that stuff, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
That's why, like on the website, on Hooper Ruff website, I list what all the essential oils do. So you're not just picking a scent because it smells nice. You're picking a scent because it actually has a benefit. So there's a whole bunch of scents that are actually calming, and they reduce anxiety in a dog. And they're smelling that as you're washing them because you're releasing the essential oil onto their skin, and it's going to linger after bath time as well. So touching on the behavioral side of bath time, we make those products purely to help during that period, that chaotic, manic period where you're going to get just as wet as the dog, which seems to be my experience when I bath dogs.
Always happens, doesn't it? Oh god.
I give up I just get in the shower with the dog. I'm like, you're coming in, mate. Like, sorry, you gotta put up with that, because it's like, I'm gonna get wet anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna get wet anyway.
Amelia, where can we find your stuff?
You can find our stuff online. So given everything that's going on at the moment, online is the best way to go, and we deliver right around Australia. You'll get your package within 3 to 5 business days. So our website is hooperruff.com, and you can head there and you can buy any of our products. They're all available and they're ready for you to bath your dog. Obviously it's cheaper than going to a groomer and a lot safer than leaving the house at the moment as well.
Absolutely. And when all this passes, and when all this does pass, when the craziness subsides, we can find you up online markets as well, right?
Yes, you sure can. And so I do Bondi markets quite regularly because it's quite close to where I live and where I make all the wonderful Hooper Ruff products. But I'm also spreading out to a few other markets as well. So watch this space.
That's actually something I don't think we've mentioned, is the fact that you do make all of your stuff by hand at the moment. Am I right? Yeah,
that's correct.
Really?
So it takes me 2 weeks to make 1 bar of soap. So when you buy a bar of soap, that's a 2-week process. Making liquid soap can be anything from an 8-hour to a 12-hour process, depending on the batches. So there's a lot of time and effort that are going into these bottles, and it's something I'm quite proud of. And even going into the manufacturing space, I'm still using all those amazing products and ingredients and the method of making them as well. So it's quite a premium product, and if it was something that we were buying as humans, it would be a lot more money. But this is, you know, it's priced at what it is because it is worth it, and a lot of effort time does go into the product, the ingredients. There's organic ingredients in there as well. I just don't bother saying it because it just becomes too complicated, and you just need to know on the spot that, yeah, it's good. It's a good choice.
That's
So
fantastic.
I absolutely love that. That
Yeah.
just makes that just warmed my heart knowing that. So when people buy it, they can go, she's put all this effort in to this bar,
Yeah.
so 2 weeks.
Even sticking the
That's
label on
awesome.
the front.
Pardon?
Even sticking the label on the front.
Oh, I have done so many labels since I started this.
You're a pro now.
Just put a label on a bottle again. But we also go one step further because we really do care about pets and dogs. Obviously, dogs are our big one, and we do articles. So a lot of questions that I get are, how do I wash my dog? Can I put the soap on their face? And the answer is no. Not the best. Yeah. I don't know how you like it when you get soap in your eyes and mouth.
Hell no. Hell no.
There is nobody can ever account for the member of public that just asks that question. Oh, you make soap. Does it go? Can I put it in their eyes?
No, just straight in there. And it's funny, at first I didn't think I had to answer this stuff, but, people really need to know, there's other stuff as well that goes along with it. And some people, obviously we're talking about bath time and dogs not liking bath time that much. Putting a towel down in the bath and letting them stand on a wet towel so they're not feeling like they're on, unstable ground is a really good common practice thing to do, but a lot of people don't know this. So I've written a lot of articles on very basic pet 101, as well as because this stuff can get a bit complicated, what to look out for in products as well. So because it's unregulated, I've just gone, you know what, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to write articles on it. And so I've done that as well and got into more depth and explained it in a way that everyone can understand, because when I first started researching it, I was just like, this makes absolutely no sense to me because I'm not a chemist. So yeah, I've written it in a way that everyone can understand.
Yeah, fantastic. It's really important, and it goes back to education and awareness of the public. We've all got a tendency to believe what we're told.
100%. Marketing's terrible like that.
Yeah, and we don't know what we don't know. So
Exactly.
those ingredients, if they're not flagged, how the bloody hell is anybody actually meant to know?
Yeah. And there's so much stuff in shampoo and conditioner anyway that I'm like, you know what? It smells great and the packaging looks great. It should be fine. Can you imagine thinking like that in an unregulated industry, which is exactly what we're doing at the moment with dogs?
Yeah, just the blind leading the blind a little bit.
Massively, just massively. Obviously I'm not going to name and shame because that would be terrible. However, there are some dog products that are quite well known that I would wear gloves if I was washing my dog in that product. There's just things that you wouldn't really want to be putting your hands in if you knew what was in there. So, it's scary. It needs to be addressed. And I think that businesses like me and yourself, if we create enough awareness, that the tides will change and, people will have to make better quality products.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on today. It is so bloody good to have you on board. You're the first dog wash company products that we've had on this show, so hopefully our listeners really do get the value from this, and learn something, because we both did, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, good. Thank you very much for having me.
No worries.
No worries. Well, thank you guys. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. And remember, folks, a healthy dog's a happy dog.
Woo. Bye.
And that was the pod. The Healthy Dog Pod.